Hi and welcome to a new video. Today I thought we could talk about the books I read in June. I'm well aware that it's like the 15th of July today, but honestly, I feel like I've been sick all this month. I'm sick all the time, it feels like, so I haven't had the time to film this until now, and I think you can still kind of hear on my voice that I'm still a bit sick, so apologies for that. But let's jump right into it. In the month of June, I read 12 books. I have been in such a good reading mood recently, or it feels like either I read so many books in a week kind of, and then I go like 2 weeks without reading anything, and then I go another week again where I read so many books. So it feels like while I have been reading a lot, I've also been kind of slumpy, but I think it's because I've read so many good books. So I'm firstly gonna start off by a series, and I'm not gonna talk about all of them because it's 8 books in total, and I can't also talk about all of the books because then it would be spoilers. But I'm gonna talk about the Emma and Lion series. I only have volume 6 and volume 8 physically because right now they're republishing the books. I think this one is indie published and it has gotten picked up by a regular publisher, so I wanted to grab 2 before they got the new cover because, as I've talked about in other videos, I don't really like the new covers. I prefer these ones. I think this cover is just stunning. So I read volume 1 to volume 8, and let me tell you that I'm absolutely obsessed. This series is without a doubt a 5-star series for me. I think I gave almost every book. Yeah, I gave the first one I gave 4 stars, second one 4 star, 3 4.5, 5 4.75, and then the rest 5 stars. So the first 3 was it's because I don't really know how to explain Emma Lion because there isn't a plot. It's just basically slice of life. We have Emma, who's been in another part of England, the UK, for a while, and then she comes home to London. And when she comes home to London, she has to live with her uncle. And when she's been away, she's been in the belief that she has some money. That the money her parents left her is still there because she wouldn't be able to use it until she turned 21. It's also in 1880 in London. But when she comes home, she realized that everything is not as she believes, and she gets in kind of trouble, and you just follow how she's trying to solve it and the people she meets along the way. Her uncle, who is a character, so to say, not just in a book character, a character. He's so mean, and he truly believes that Emma is the bane of his existence. And this series is just so funny and heartwarming, and I loved every single second of it. I have not felt the way I felt towards this series in a long while. So I'm really happy that I picked this up, and volume 6 and 8 are my favorites, especially volume 8. This is volume 6. Volume 8 just have such a special place in my heart, and I recently went to National Gallery in London, and I saw a few paintings, and my first thought was, oh my god, this reminds me so much of Emma Lion. That's how obsessed I am with this series. So that's basically the first 8 books that I read in June. Then I read another 5-star. Do you believe how many 5 stars I had in June? And that was The Bodyguard. Listen, I have owned this book since it was really popular, in 2022, maybe 2023. I have a tendency to put off books that are very popular, and I don't know why. I do not know why, because obviously they're popular for a reason. I buy them and then I never pick it up. It happened with Fourth Wing, and it happened with a lot of, like, when Colleen Hoover had her big on TikTok. I waited until, like, the popularity has blown by, and then I read it, and it happened with The Bodyguard as well. This book follows a female main character, per usual, and she is the bodyguard. I love that premise. She is the bodyguard of a famous actor. We have Hannah and we have Jack. And Hannah needs to be Jack's bodyguard. And then we get to follow them along, and it's a bit like hate love, and it's just so nice to follow them along, because it kind of gets into forced proximity where Hannah has to live with Jack because she's his bodyguard. And Jack has to move out with his family because of reasons, so they live on a farm together. It kind of gave me, or at least reminded me a little bit about Elsie Silver's books, and I love Elsie Silver's books. And also something I want to note is that something I usually hate in books is the third act conflict. It's always the same. As a person who reads a lot of romance, I'm so tired of it by this point. But this book, it had the third act conflict was something that I was not expecting, and was actually giving something to the plot, not just to exist there, you know? So really kudos to this book for actually having a good third act plot. Then I read another really good book, and that was Summer Romance by Annabel Monaghan. I gave this one 4 stars, and I really enjoyed my time. We follow Nora, who's a single mom, who's recently divorced, and she's just trying to get her spark back, you know? She feels like she really dimmed herself for her ex-husband, and she's slowly kind of realizing how much she dimmed herself and how lost she felt. And then she meets Ethan, and Ethan is, I think, my favorite character in this whole book. He has known Allie her entire life, but Allie does not recognize Ethan, her best friend's little brother, when she sees him. So when they meet and she instantly gets this connection with him, she doesn't realize that it's literally her best friend's little brother. I love the plot, and I love the way it was leaning more towards the emotional side and all of the aspects of being a single mother and everything surrounding that. However, the reason it did not get 5 stars for me was that, in my point of view, the ending felt, I don't know how to explain it in a way that does not spoil it, but it didn't feel realistic in my opinion. The next book is a book we've all seen on this channel loads of times, and that is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I've read this book 100 times. No, I'm not kidding. I love to read Harry Potter, and I always have a Harry Potter book going. As soon as I finish, I don't always read in order, I don't want to say that, but as soon as I finish the book I feel finished with, I start going back to Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, because I just can't not have Harry Potter in my life, you know. So I reread The Sorcerer's Stone, loved it, and I am currently at book 5, I think. So it's been a lot of reading during July as well, but I don't rate these books anymore because I've read them so many times. It's just a nice time, you know, when I want to listen to something mindlessly, where I'm maybe doing chores or cleaning the house, anything, doing laundry. And sometimes I zone out and I just want to have something in the background. Harry Potter is the perfect, or just sit and read something where I don't necessarily have to be careful about the books. These books, most of my Harry Potter books are bought secondhand, and they're kind of damaged. This one actually looks good, so I can bring it to the beach or anything like that, because I don't really feel like I have to be careful with them, because I own so many copies, again, bought secondhand. do not support J.K. Rowling's beliefs. So yeah. And then last but not least, I read Never Date a Roommate. This book I bought in Copenhagen in like end of June, I want to say. And this book follows our main character, Sol. I would have pronounced it Sol here in Sweden. And then Erik Storm. And for you, it's a very Danish name. Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish names are very basically the same. We pronounce it Erik Storm. If you would have been in like Australia, UK, anything like that, it would have been Erik Storm. Sol has to find a roommate. Her lease has gone out and she's desperate to find a lease in Denmark because she works there and she really likes her life, and we follow her as she tried to like get Erik to agree to be that she would be his roommate, because he has had bad experience with a female roommate before, so he was only seeking male roommates to have like the same sex, same gender in the apartment. However, in the end, he agrees to be the roommate. And then we kind of get into this fake dating scenario, because Sol works at a company, a gaming company, which I found actually very interesting, because it's never really about gaming in books, and also I wouldn't think that the first gaming book I read would be with a female main character that's working at a gaming company, so I find that really interesting. However, she gets into this fake dating scenario because she is up for a promotion, and they're kind of trying to like figure out who's best, if she's best or her competitors are best or anything like that. So they do kind of a competition where they do different social things and everyone else has partners, and Sol feels out of place. So she makes a deal with Erik to help him with his gaming company, and in exchange he will pretend to be her fake boyfriend. I love the premise of this. I gave it 4 stars. It was nothing really special, and it doesn't have to be. It was a good time. I enjoyed my time, and yeah, really good. So that was all the 12 books. It does not feel like 12 books, but it's only because MM Lion was literally 8 books. I had a really good reading month in June, and I'm not jinxing it now, having a really good reading month in July, so I'm hoping that it keeps up and I'm gonna keep reading, because I have bought a lot of new books, as you've probably seen in my last videos. So I have a big TBR now. I did a big clean out with my books, and I managed to fill a lot of space again. Very counterproductive of me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.